Yeah, they've changed their mind. They've changed their mind, Richard, because they realise they're not making the money. They're hated in Hollywood. They're not even invited to the Oscars or the Emmys. So King Charles has to wake up, okay? Because the idea that Harry and Meghan are coming back here just to be private citizens is delusional. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle were to Megxit the most unhappy royal homecoming in history. Yes, they are on their way back, folks. The dastardly duo, the fake Duke and Duchess, have tonight confirmed a return to the United Kingdom. They informed King Charles on Sunday. Prince William exploded, and can you blame him? Absolutely not.
They're coming back. Not next year, not even in the autumn. They are returning at the end of this month. Harry, Meghan, Archie and Lily are coming back to Britain in the next few days. Their stay is expected to be a lengthy one, several years, because Archie and Lily are going to enter the British education system.
6 years after Prince Harry and Meghan Markle stood before the world and accused Britain, the palace, and the royal family of racism, cruelty, and emotional destruction, the most brutal twist has landed. They are reportedly coming back to the very country they publicly condemned. Not quietly, not cautiously, not after an apology. The story exploded just before 10:00 on Wednesday night.
What have we always said? The biggest risk, P. Dinah, for Prince Harry is to want to leave that woman while they are in California, because she would get custody of the children and he would not be able to return. So there is a lot going on here, P. Dinah, and I think a big part of this is Harry preparing for his post-divorce world, where he has the children in the United Kingdom, because guess what? He's stupid, but when he reads in Vanity Fair, confirmation of a report that I first made, P. Dinah, that his wife is shopping around a post-divorce autobiography. Surely that's when you wake up and you say, I can't stay here. I can't stay here. She is setting me up.
So he's forcing her. He's forcing her hand. I'm going back with the children. I agree. This is why it was so sudden. This is exactly why it's so sudden. What's Meghan going to do if Harry says, I'm going back with the kids? What is she going to do? He has every legal right to go back with these children. Meghan doesn't want to go, but now her cards have been played. She doesn't have a chance now, because now this is going to be on UK soil.
And by midnight, Britain was already burning with one question: how dare they? Vans allegedly booked, school places already taken, plans already moving before the public even had time to breathe. And the timing felt too perfect to be innocent, because this was not just a return. This looked like an operation. Then came the reaction, and it was savage. Piers Morgan said he may have to immigrate. Meghan Kelly fired back from America, saying they had already done their time there. Meghan McCain did not bother with royal politeness, calling them D-list royals and warning Britain they were now its problem. But the real verdict was not from television. It was from the public. Poll after poll showed nearly 9 out of 10 people did not want Harry and Meghan back. And beneath the biggest video of the night, one comment rose above thousands, colder than any headline, sharper than any palace statement: William stands strong. That was the whole scandal in 3 words. Because nobody wants this return. Not the country, not the palace, not Prince William, not Princess Catherine, maybe not even Meghan herself. One man appears to want it, and that man is King Charles. Still battling cancer, still emotionally vulnerable, still trying to appear generous while the crown around him trembles. Catherine has fought through her own remarkable recovery, needing peace, space, and stability. Yet into that fragile moment comes the one couple whose every accusation, interview, book, documentary, and paid confession helped turn royal family pain into global entertainment. Peter Hunt, the former BBC royal correspondent, chose one chilling word for how Prince William may feel: apoplectic. Not annoyed, not disappointed, apoplectic. Because this is not simply about a brother moving home. This raises the nightmare of 2 rival courts inside one country. William and Catherine on one side, Harry and Meghan on the other, with one crown trapped between them. Tom Sykes called it a huge slap in William's face, then asked the question advisors must fear most. What happens when Charles invites Harry to Christmas? Or when Harry decides he wants Remembrance Sunday? Robert Jobson took it further, and his warning changed the entire temperature of the story. He called it a crown divided, the worst royal rift in 90 years, going all the way back to the abdication. That is not gossip. That is dynastic language. Abdication means fracture. Abdication means national humiliation. Abdication means a monarchy forced to choose between blood and survival. And suddenly, Harry and Meghan's return no longer looked like a family matter. It looked like a constitutional shadow creeping across Buckingham Palace, Sandringham, Windsor, and every balcony William is expected to inherit. But the detail that truly poisons the air is what the Wales camp has allegedly never forgotten. What followed the Oprah interview. The threats. The online abuse. The pressure landing on Catherine while she was carrying more private pain than anyone knew at the time. That is what is being moved back into their orbit. Not simply a brother, but a weather system of chaos. Comment sections did not sound excited. They sounded braced for impact. One person called Harry and Meghan dangerous to the Wales family. Another demanded extra security. And again, the same warning appeared everywhere. William stands strong. Then comes Christmas, the royal minefield nobody wants to touch. Does William take Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis to Sandringham if Harry and Meghan are there? Of course, that becomes impossible. He takes them to the Middletons, and the palace is left explaining empty chairs, missing children, and a family photograph that suddenly says more than any official statement. The man who once called royal life a prison, who sold the pain of the family he left behind, may now be moving next door to the brother who stayed, served, absorbed the burden, and carried the institution without complaint. And this is where the story turns even darker. Because the move may not be about love, healing, or family at all. The claim behind the polite headlines is brutal, the marriage is under pressure, the money is running out fast, and Meghan did not want this. Think about that. For 6 years, she built an entire identity around escape. Britain was too racist, too cruel, too dangerous for her children. California was freedom. Sunshine, kitchens, gardens, edible flowers, lifestyle branding. Independence, but if she boards that plane at the end of the month, the brand does not evolve. It collapses. Because Meghan's entire product was America. The Californian Duchess, the global entrepreneur, the woman too big for the palace. Yet now the image becomes something else entirely, selling jam online from a rented house in England while returning to the country she said broke her. Netflix was not fruitful. The retail dream reportedly cooled. The lifestyle machine stalled. America is vast enough to disappear inside, but Britain is a village with cameras, memory, and grudges. And when that plane lands, every smile, every school run, every window, every silence becomes evidence. That is why part 1 ends with the cruelest possibility of all. This return may not be reconciliation, but repossession. Harry regains proximity. Meghan risks humiliation. Charles loses authority. Catherine loses peace. William is forced into defense before he even wears the crown. And somewhere behind palace doors, one question is already growing louder than the official welcome. If the country said no, if William said no, if history warned no, then who decided Harry and Meghan could come back anyway? Then came the moment that exposed how carefully this entire operation may have been planned. On live television. One of Harry and Meghan's own defenders tried to rescue the narrative by insisting they were simply a couple deeply in love. But within seconds, she made an astonishing comparison, telling viewers to look at Kate and William. That's a different story. She had barely finished before the host interrupted her, firmly stating that the Prince and Princess of Wales were very much in love. The defense collapsed in real time on the very night it was needed most. Instead of protecting Harry and Meghan, it reminded millions how damaged their public support had become. And behind every argument sat another uncomfortable memory, the treatment many people still believe Prince Philip received during his final years, when family tensions were already spilling into public view. Suddenly, every attempt to rebuild sympathy seemed to create another reason for people to question their motives. The next revelation was even more explosive because it shifted attention away from William and straight onto King Charles himself. According to the narration, Charles reportedly learned about the family's relocation by telephone only days before the public did. Not during a family summit. Not after months of planning together. A phone call. Robert Jobson described the situation with remarkable bluntness. arguing that Harry and Meghan effectively presented Charles with a completed package. The grandchildren would supposedly be closer, Granddad could spend more time with them, and who could possibly object? But Jobson immediately followed that observation with the sentence that echoed across royal circles: they were holding a gun to the king's head. Whether metaphor or analysis, the implication was unmistakable. The decision no longer looked voluntary. It looked engineered. Buckingham Palace attempted to steady the situation with familiar language, saying His Majesty welcomed the opportunity to spend more time with family in a private capacity. Yet critics argued those carefully chosen words sounded less like confidence and more like damage control. The king appeared caught between his personal role as a father and his constitutional duty as monarch. The public explanation portrayed compassion, but opponents saw hesitation. They asked why Charles had not drawn a clear line, publicly rejected the arrangement, or stripped Harry and Meghan of their remaining royal titles altogether. To many observers, this was no longer simply a father's dilemma. It was becoming a test of leadership, and every perceived compromise appeared to reduce the authority of the crown itself. Behind that criticism stood another figure whose patience suddenly became the most valuable currency inside the monarchy: Prince William. The future king reportedly was not consulted first. He was informed afterward. Robert Jobson suggested that eventually the palace might feel forced to bring Harry back inside the royal tent simply to prevent matters from spiraling further out of control. But critics immediately reached the opposite conclusion. They argued that such an outcome would reward every interview, every memoir, every documentary, and every public accusation that had already shaken the institution. Instead of ending conflict, it could encourage even more of it. William's inheritance would no longer be a united monarchy. It would be an endless negotiation with the brother who had walked away. That concern grew stronger once attention shifted toward money. For 6 years, the central product surrounding Harry and Meghan had been their connection to the royal family. Netflix bought that access. Publishers bought it. Television interviews depended upon it. Every revelation relied on royal proximity. But what happens when there are no more family secrets left to sell? The narration suggested another memoir would inevitably arrive, because eventually every remaining disagreement, whether over lip gloss, conversations, or misunderstood moments, could become another commercial opportunity. Yet the shelves were beginning to empty. As the narration put it, you can only sell your grandmother once. That line transformed the financial argument into something much larger. Proximity itself had become the product. The week's most overlooked clue, however, may have had nothing to do with Harry or Meghan directly. 2 national newspapers reportedly published what both described as world exclusives during the same hour, using almost identical wording, quotations, and details. The narration argued that was no coincidence. It resembled coordination rather than competition. Robert Jobson pointed out another remarkable detail. One newspaper allegedly excluded from receiving the story was the Daily Mail, the very publication Harry had recently fought in court and reportedly faced paying substantial legal costs to. Someone, the narration argued, appeared to have carefully decided who would receive advance access and who would not. If true, the announcement itself was being managed like a political campaign rather than a family decision. As the reported arrival date drew closer, predictions became increasingly severe. Kelvin Mackenzie warned Meghan risked being publicly booed. Alison Pearson repeated the question that had haunted the debate for 6 years. If Britain was truly the racist, toxic country repeatedly described, why voluntarily return? Either the earlier allegations remained true, making the move extraordinary, or the return itself fundamentally changed how those accusations would now be judged. The contradiction refused to disappear, because every justification seemed to create another unanswered question. Then came perhaps the most startling television moment of the entire controversy. On the very night the relocation story broke, one commentator publicly suggested that Prince William should eventually be passed over and Prince Harry made king instead. It was dismissed as fantasy, yet the fact that such an idea reached national television demonstrated just how volatile the atmosphere had become. Robert Jobson argued that unless someone regained control, the monarchy itself risked looking like a circus. And that warning led directly to the explanation, tying every clue together. This was not simply about money, although finances were repeatedly questioned. It was not simply about King Charles's health, despite briefings reportedly suggesting otherwise. According to the narration, it was about time. Charles is the monarch willing to say yes. William is widely portrayed as the future king who never will. Once William inherits the crown, titles, invitations, influence, and royal proximity could change forever. That is why, the narration concluded, the move allegedly had to happen now before the clock ran out.